Hey everyone, my name is Dara LaPorta. I am living in Tampa, Florida with my husband Matt. We've been married 11 years and we have 4 children. Our oldest, Sienna, is 8 years old. I have twin sons named Price and Maddox, and they're 6 years old. And my baby girl is Tessa, and she will be 4 years old this month. So if you're doing the math, when Tessa, my baby, was born, I had 4 children, 4 years old and under. And I can say in just this last year, do I feel like I'm seeing the light. In truth, I feel like I'd been in quarantine for all those years prior to Tessa becoming a little bit more independent and realizing we could leave the house with all 4. And then of course, now we can't, but it was beautiful while it lasted. I run a business. I am a health coach, but more than that, that business was born out of my own experience. All I had ever wanted to do was be a mom, and God was so good, and He gave me this beautiful family, which is why I couldn't figure out why I felt so lonely, so overwhelmed. And I hate to use the word, but discontent. I mean, I was grateful. I knew the gifts that I had in my children and my husband, but I didn't feel like I was living up to my God-given potential. I didn't feel like I was being the woman God had called me to be. I didn't feel like myself. And so that just led me on this journey of, starting with my own just personal wellness journey and realizing that I'd let so much of that go. And in turn, that just gave me the discipline and confidence to dig more into my relationship with the Lord and just figure out, who I was meant to be. And now it's my privilege to help other women do the same and just get comfortable in their own skin again, to feel more like themselves. So that's what I do. Mostly I'm a mom though, and I love it. And I am excited to talk to you guys today. So I want to talk about Easter. For the first time ever this year, in early March, I had all 4 kids' outfits picked out, ordered, and ready to go. Not only that, the morning of Easter, they put on their outfits without a complaint, without a meltdown. They were sweet and calm, and we didn't even get to go to church this year. I feel so gypped, but you can guarantee that we put on those outfits and we took a ton of pictures just in our backyard instead of in front of our church. But it had me thinking how good it felt to feel like I was ahead of the game for once, to feel like I had my act together. I mean, the amount of pride I felt over this really silly thing it was so disproportionate to the small task that it really was. But it just felt so good because we, as moms, as women, at least most of us, I won't speak for all of us, we love to feel ahead. We love to check all of the boxes for today, tomorrow, next week, and if possible, 3 years from now, right? But what I have found in my own life is that this pursuit of getting ahead feels never ending. This pursuit leaves me weary and ragged. This pursuit tells me that I'm never doing enough, that I am not enough. And recently I was reading through one of my journals, and it was the same thing. The overarching theme was these words of inadequacy and am I enough? Am I doing enough for my kids, for my husband, for my business? The overarching theme was just overwhelm. And I can say in the last year though, some of that has changed for me. I remember, I wish I could say I was praying, but if I'm being honest, I was probably muttering and complaining. And I kept just thinking, why can't I ever just get done what I need to get done? Why do I always feel behind? Why can't I just get ahead? And you guys, in that instant, I just felt like God said to me, maybe I don't want you to get ahead. And immediately, I was reminded of the story of the manna. In Exodus 16, verses 4, and then I'm going to skip down to 17 and 18. It says, "Look, I will cause bread to rain down from heaven for you, and the people will go out and gather a helping of it each day. I will test them to see if they are willing to live by my instructions." The Israelites did as they were told. Some people gathered a lot, and some gathered less. When they used a 2-quart jar to measure it, the one who had gathered a lot didn't have more than he needed, and the one who gathered less had just what he needed. Miraculously, each person and each family, regardless of how much they gathered, had exactly what they needed. It goes on to say that there was a few people who tried to save their manna for the next day, and when they went to use it, to eat it, it was moldy and had worms and it smelled. It had gone bad. The Lord didn't want them to have manna for a whole week. He didn't even want them to have manna for the next day. He wanted them to have to go out of their homes and meet him each and every day, to witness his faithfulness each and every morning, to experience the miracles every single day. And I think that's what he wants from you and I as well. When we get too far ahead, we start to think we're capable. When we get too far ahead, our pride swells. I mean, think about how proud of myself I was over silly Easter outfits. We forget how much we need Jesus every moment of every day. So, first of all, I just want to say how cool the Word of God is. I have loved Jesus my whole life. I've been raised in church. My father is a pastor. I have heard about the manna more times than I can count, yet I had never looked at it that way until I needed to. And I just love that. So most days I still feel behind. And when I don't feel behind, I'm sure that I'm forgetting 3 other things, right? But the difference is I feel like I have found peace in the being behind. I have found peace even with a million boxes left to check on my to-do list. I have found peace in the overwhelm. I started rereading Sarah Young's Jesus Calling this year, and just 4 months in to the year, I am just shocked by how many of her passages talk about this. And since she's like a way better writer than I am, I'm gonna read some of those because they, to me, are just so powerful and I couldn't pick just one. So I hope you'll listen, and I hope that you'll really just let these soak into your heart and your soul. She says, "If you want to stay close to me and do things my way, ask me how to show you the path forward, moment by moment. Instead of dashing headlong towards your goal, let me set the pace. Slow down and enjoy the journey in my presence. I plan out each and every day and have it ready for you long before you arise from bed. I also provide the strength you need each step of the way. Instead of assessing your energy level and wondering about what's on the road ahead, concentrate on staying in touch with me. Do not wear yourselves out with analyzing and planning. Instead, let thankfulness and trust be your guides. They will keep you close to me. The best way to get through this day is step by step with me. Release the fantasy of an uncluttered world. Accept each day just as it comes and find me in the midst of it all. A successful day is one in which you have stayed in touch with me, even if many things remain undone at the end of the day. Do not let your to-do list become an idol directing your life. Instead, ask my spirit to guide you moment by moment. Step by step, moment by moment, intimacy with the Lord, staying in touch with him, gratitude, trust. So how do we do it all? I am just convinced that we don't. And are we enough? I don't think so, but he is. God is enough. He fills in the gaps. He is strong when we are weak. As a mom of 4 young children who works from home building a business, I have learned to manage my expectations on a day-to-day basis. And on most days, I have to lower those expectations. And let me tell you, this is not a popular theme among our mom boss, boss babe, girl boss society. You're not gonna read lower your expectations in the next, trending book that comes out. Lower your expectations is countercultural to the hustle hard, go do all the things, you can have it all messages that seem to be so prevalent right now. And please don't misunderstand me. I believe God has called us to excellence and discipline and big dreams and hard work. I do. I believe that for you, and I believe that for me. But I believe He wants us to do that stuff, do those things at His pace, on His timeline, within His boundaries, while prioritizing our intimacy with Him more than anything. Matthew 6:33 from the Passion Translation says, "So above all, constantly chase after the realm of God's kingdom and the righteousness that proceeds from Him. Then all these less important things will be given to you abundantly." How do you chase after God's kingdom? How do you prioritize your relationship with the Lord and stay in step with Him throughout your day? How do you make your to-do list the less important things? I think that's hard because I don't think most of us are putting things on our list that we don't think matter. In some way, all of those things matter, but somehow we have to get Jesus above it all. So I don't have all the answers to that, but I know for sure there's not just one way. I know that it will look different for each of us in different seasons, from job to job, from child to child, as our life changes, as your family grows. So be open to what the Lord has for you and what He's showing you wherever you're at. Pay attention to the quiet times in your day, if those exist. And if they don't, find Jesus still. But I do want to share what has worked for me in this season of my life. All my children are sleeping through the night, so that's a big disclaimer. Because for me in this season, I do wake up early before my kids and have intentional, uninterrupted time with Jesus. Like I said, I've loved Jesus for as long as I can remember, but so often in so many seasons of my life, taking this time with the Lord, it felt more of like an obligation, a chore, another box on my to-do list. But like I said, when I was telling you about myself, when I became a mom, all of that changed. I think before having kids, I think I thought I was pretty capable, pretty independent, pretty good at most things, which, obviously I had ego issues as well. And then I became a mom and I realized how inadequate I was. It was the first time in my life that I really needed Jesus. I needed Him so much, and I still do. So I take that time, this intimacy, this quiet and stillness, it's my manna. It is my heavenly bread, day by day. So getting up earlier than your children may not be an option for you. So maybe it's just taking a walk. Maybe it's on your morning commute. Maybe it's during your workout. I don't know when that's going to be for you, but find Jesus. Find Jesus in your day. So after spending time with the Lord each morning, I have gotten in a habit of saying a few really simple prayers that have become kind of mantras for me to start my day and start it in the right headspace. And I'd like to share those with you. I pray that I will be available and interruptible, that I will not be so focused on me and the things that I want to get done that I miss something that the Lord needs me to do or that the Lord wants me to do. I surrender my to-do list. I literally say out loud, I will not get everything done today, and that's okay. I pray that the Lord will define success for me, knowing that His version of success might look different than my version, and that it might even change on a day-to-day basis. but surrendering to that and understanding that. And I ask him to direct my steps, that he would show me who and what needs my time and energy and attention that day. So much is pulling at us. Sometimes it's hard to discern. Where should we be spending our time this day? Is it on this project for work? Is it with our child who's been acting out a little bit and needs some attention from mom? I just really trust that the Lord is going to show me, and that wherever I spend my time is the right place. So I'm choosing that whatever I get done that day will be enough, that God will help me be exactly the person that I need to be that day, that he will give me exactly the amount of creativity and energy and discipline and patience and self-control to get through my day, that he knows what I need and will supply. So I would just like to pray those prayers over you right now. My prayer for you is that you will find rest in the arms of Jesus. I pray that you will go to him each and every day, trusting that just like the manna, will give you exactly what you need. I pray that you will experience his peace, which surpasses understanding, even when things remain undone. I pray that you will not surrender your hopes and dreams, but that you will lay down your striving. Walk arm in arm with Jesus at his pace, trusting that he is able to do exceedingly abundantly more than you could ever ask or imagine through his mighty power at work within you. Amen. And thank you so much.